Hi, welcome to my creative pitch. I will be pitching a story with the convergence of science and magic. The form in which this story will take is an interactive website and graphic novel represented with multiple graphic novels with bonus interactive pages where the audience can follow each set of characters and navigate through a series of web pages to learn about the characters and locations involved. But there will also be posts, updates, and profiles of the characters involved on allocated social media platforms separate to the website. My inspirations for this revolve around the question, does technological innovation corrupt or improve morality? And in turn, I also am inspired by the film and TV series iRobot, Arcane, Onwards, Multiverse of Madness, Doctor Who, Cybermen, and Hell of a Boss. My target audience ranges from 20 to 40 years, especially with those cultures who are present in the characters and people who are pro-technology or pro-environment. The synopsis of my story is as follows. In a futuristic world overrun by technology, two teams of scientists battle for their morals. Each team has been working at a large laboratory with their own team. One team is all about experimenting for the evolution of technology to greater the human race. The other is completely against technology and intends on trying to convince the human race to leave it behind and return to the old days. During a scientific research field trip deep in one of the remaining forests, where the local villagers won't enter due to superstition, a small group of scientists who are not fond of technology discover magic. They find a small village of Fae who are connected to a myth about a powerful artifact that allows the wearer to be imbued with animal abilities. The team attempt to research the science behind how and why the little village came to be, the magic behind the artifact, and how magic works. Another team hears of this project and makes themselves involved. However, this new team is all about evolving technology and they want to use the magic to combine it with technology to further evolve humans. The anti-magic team do not like this and attempt to kick them out, but they had already made a deal with the Fairy Queen to hunt down the artifact she lost long ago in return for the use of her people in their experiments. The anti-technology team do whatever they can to prohibit the technology team on getting their hands on the artifact by following various clues and puzzles to reach it first. However, neither team realize how powerful the artifact is and that it is not just a simple gemstone. So this is the current style mood board for the story and the website. So there's lots of colour except for maybe the laboratories, mostly greys and a bit of green. And then the Fae village is very light and bright, lit up. And that's sort of that graphic comic looking style. Now, first we'll meet the team. The anti-technology team prides itself on their research against technology and how it has been detrimental to the human race. Each member has been greatly affected by the use of technology or negative effects and implications on the people around them. This team is led by a naturalist theorist based on Charles Darwin, with the members including a young zoologist based on Artemis, a psychologist based on Sigmund Freud, a biologist based on Wangari Maathai, and a genealogist based on Barbara McClintock. The first character we have is Clay Evergreen, who is a naturalist and evolution theorist who spends most of his days researching living creatures. He doesn't agree with technology because he can see the way it affects those around him, especially after his wife left him because of a bunch of social media comments. In a world where there is almost no nature left, he spends most of his time at sanctuaries or travels to extravagant places. He will always have his satchel, which contains notebooks and notes on animals and plants he finds fascinating. Second up, we have Eva Wren, who's a zoologist who chose to study animals when she lost her twin at the age of 16 during a auto-highway accident, which was never meant to happen in this world of technology. She now has constant anxiety when it comes to anything technology-based, and she spends most of her time at zoos and sanctuaries where she met Clay, who took her under his wing. And we have Walter Aston, a psychologist who Clay originally paid to see Eva and her fears and help her with them, but then he agreed with her dislike of technology and the effects it has on people. And then we have Violet Willow, who loves the natural environments. She researches the effect of technology on the natural world and how it has destroyed a large amount of nature's natural resources. And then we have Rue Sherwood, who is the newest member, but she primarily works by Violet on the genetic effects of technology on the environment. And then we have the experimental team, which prides itself in their experimental uses of technology, working on more advanced devices to allow the humans to connect in new ways. It is led by an inventor based on Thomas Edison, with members including an engineer based on Mae Jemison, a married wildlife biologist couple based on Paula McKay and Robert Long, and a computerologist based on Alan Turing. First up, we have Archie Gates, who is the main inventor. He invented jewellery in this day that can be used as torches on the go in his mum's garage at the age of 12. He also spends most of his time creating new concepts of technology, barely leaving the lab. Then we've got Paige Vala, who joined Archie when she was 18 for inventing hover boots at a high school group project with the help of Arthur, who is another character. And we've got Pearl and Leonardo Zephyr, who are a married biologist couple who've been married for 40 years. And their mission is to rewild the natural world through the use of technological domes that allow the wild world to live in peace without humans, and to protect it from the unchecked expansion of tech. Then lastly, we've got Arthur Gale, who is a computerologist who excels at coding, and he got a job with Paige helping code her hover boots during high school, and he codes most of their projects. Now, we've also got the Fey Village, the Queen, and the Anna Fey, which is the artifact that they have to go hunting. Which the Fey Village is a typical Fey village in a clearing. The Queen is the largest of the Fey, and she resembles a bee because they have a hive mind. And the artifact itself just allows the users or the people within its range to have animal abilities. Each stone in the Anna Fey actually symbolizes something to help the transformations as well, like the incantations, the abundance of magic, the clarity, the strength of the transformation, the restructuring of the body with the animal magic, and the peace of magic. Now, the desired effect would have to be that the graphic novel is large enough and engaging enough that the audience would not only keep coming back to read, but also want to discover more about the characters and the world so that they connect to them on another level. The effect would also cause tension in the fandom and possibly debates maybe had across media platforms about which teams are in the right or wrong and how audiences feel about what is happening. The summary of the purpose. The medium. The purpose of making an entire website with multiple pages and split up information allows the audience to choose and connect to characters or multiple characters in a more emotionally impactful manner. Each character as seen will be tailored specifically so the audience can empathize or sympathize with at least one on their journey through the story. And the active fictional characters' participation across social platforms will use Henry Jenkins' concept of cultural convergence and how actively participating in content is now a compulsory part of having an audience. Having the snippets of information not only within the graphic novel themselves allows the audience to actively search for their own information as like behind the scenes content whilst connecting to the world and the characters they choose. The message of this whole story will have a couple minor messages revolving around the way the characters act and how different teams of people with different morales can be neither good or bad. But the main message will revolve around how expansion of technological innovation affects the earth and that of the people, plants, and animals who live on it. There will also be minor references to the people the characters are based off of and how they might interact in this world. The ideological implications and textual components in this story. First up, we have the Convergence culture, which will be using several parts of the theory coined by Henry Jenkins. The idea of multiple cultures, usually separated, now merged by the use of technology. The active participation of the audience through specifically placed interactive pages across the website and the use of social media platforms to enable further connection of the characters and the audience, and allowing the audience to actively participate in the debates present within the story. Then we have the semiotics and emotional design involved in the whole story. It will be very important that each character and environment will use specific colors and designs in an attempt to cause emotional effect through the color psychology, whilst also using emotion design to imbue empathy or sympathy, allowing a connection to be made with the audience and influencing anticipation throughout the entire story. For example, the environmentalist team will always be wearing something in association with the color green to associate the connection to nature, whilst the technological team will always be wearing something associated with the color blue, representing not only reliability on technology, but also the business aspect as well. And it'll be the same with the environments. It'll all be tailored specifically to colors. Postmodernism, having the diverse range of characters will not only present a more modern conceptual design to the story, but also interconnect the grand narrative about how the unchecked expansion of technology might affect our future realities. And it'll also allow the range of cultures present to bring together audiences of all age, culture, sexuality, and gender, with hints of futuristic pop culture that can be included in the scape of futuristic cities seen through billboards, television, and holograms. And there we go, the bibliography, the figures of all the images, and proper references. Thanks for listening, and have a good day.